Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Jared and this is High Octane Only, hopefully the first episode of many. Today we're going to be talking about something very interesting that just surfaced in the automotive world not too long ago. The absolutely most insane four-seater car I have ever seen. Probably the fastest four-seater car on the face of the planet right now. That would be the Koenigsegg Gemera. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. So let's talk about facts and figures first. 1,700 horsepower, 2,581 pound-feet of torque. That's just nuts. But let's talk about how it gets that power. So this thing has only a 3-cylinder 2-liter twin turbocharged engine, but it's a hybrid. So it also has 3 electric motors, giving you that combined 1,700 horsepower. The electric motors, there's 3 of them. 2 in the rear, 1 to each of the rear tires. The third one is on the crankshaft that kind of comes off the engine and then goes to the back tires as well. Then you have your standard petrol engine. Here's where things get really interesting. This is a 2-liter 3-cylinder engine. Now, normally a 3-cylinder is about maybe 1 liter or 1.1 or 1.2 or something like that. But no, this is a little bit larger displacement for a 3-cylinder. So we've got a 2-liter instead. Twin turboed, obviously from Koenigsegg, you're going to put in that twin turbo there. And this little monster puts out 600 horsepower. So this 3-cylinder engine has what is called free valve. Now, normally in a combustion engine, you have your camshaft that spins and is timed with the cylinders and then opens and closes the valve that way. But you can't really change when the valves open and close just because it's on a camshaft, so the thing spins and then it opens and closes them as it sees fit. With this free valve system that Christian von Koenigsegg, who is an absolute genius, has come up with, operates each valve individually with a solenoid. That way it's controlled by a computer, so you can open it instantly, keep it open for as long as you want, close it, and then change that at any point in time to get either better fuel economy or more power. And then not to mention you're getting 200 horsepower per cylinder, which is completely unheard of, which also comes out to about 300 horsepower per liter, which is also almost unheard of. Now let's talk about the styling a little bit. I absolutely love the way this thing looks, and the fact that it's a 4-seater but only 2 doors is super cool. You look at the interior here. Now, I'll be the first guy to admit, I am not a big fan of yellow. Yellow is probably my least favorite color when it comes to cars, but like this color on the outside, the gray with the yellow, it just speaks to me. I absolutely love it. The satin kind of like steel color on the outside with that bright yellow on the interior, I think it just absolutely looks insane and gorgeous at the same time. If you look at this picture on the interior, you can see how wide this door is. So you open up the one door and you have access to the back seat and the front seat. Look at all that room in the rear. Like, that just looks nuts. Another thing that I think is really cool about this vehicle is it has 8 cup holders. 8. Now, why would you have 8 cup holders if there's only 4 people going to be sitting in the car? Well, I'm glad you asked. The reason there are 8 is because each person gets 2. 1 is heated and 1 is cooled. That's awesome. So you can keep your milkshake cool in one cup holder while having your coffee warm in the other. That is awesome. I don't think there's many other luxury vehicles out there that have that kind of feature, let alone can do 250 miles an hour and 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. I mean, come on. What 4-seater do we know that can go that fast? The only other 4-seater that I would say is comparable to this is either the Ferrari FF or GTC 4 Lusso. And I don't even think they even come close. Granted, you do have your naturally aspirated V12, that 6.3 liter in both of those, that putting out over 700 horsepower, but this thing's still got 1,000 horsepower on that. I'd be interested to see what a drag race between this and the GTC 4 Lusso would be. How bad the Ferrari would just get spanked. Like I said, I'm not a real big fan of the yellow normally, but this is absolutely beautiful. I love the roof. on the inside where you can see right through the center. It kind of mirrors that center console going all the way down the middle. I think that is really, really, really cool. The seats look super comfortable. Look at all the padding on the top and on the bottom. I feel like it's just super snug and really comfortable at the same time. It would be kind of a family vehicle, so I'd imagine the seats have to be somewhat comfortable at least. But these things, it looks like Koenigsegg just kind of knocked it out of the park with the seats on this one. Looking at the back seat, you have this center screen in the back, and I don't really know what's all being able to display on that screen, but I would assume you could use it as a multifunction infotainment screen, so you could play movies and stuff off of it for your passengers in the back. But at the same time, I think it'd be really cool if you could display the gauge cluster on that back screen so that the back passengers can see the exact same thing that the driver is seeing. Kind of like with the Ferrari, where you have that kind of slice in front of the passenger where you can see the RPM and the speed and all that and stuff. I think it'd be really cool to mirror whatever the driver can see on that back screen so the passengers can see. So let's talk about the exterior now. Let's focus on the back. Look at that diffuser. The two kind of sections on either side and that middle strip going down. Oh, man, I think that just looks absolutely sinister. Real aggressive on the diffuser. I like the little ducktail kind of wing at the back. I think that was very tasteful. I also love the top exit exhaust. I don't know what it is, but since the 600 LT started, actually no, it was the 918 Spider that was the first one to have the top exit exhaust. The 918 Spider started it, and for whatever reason, it just stuck, and I think it looks absolutely spectacular. And then also with the rear end, I love the taillights. They kind of remind me of the Aston Martin Vulcan a little bit with those kind of slits there. It obviously isn't exactly like the Vulcan, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. I love the big old vents on the back end too, right above the diffuser, getting all that airflow through there. And it kind of gives it a similar look to the Chiron with all that openness in the back. Now let's move around to the front. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the front end yet. It's going to have to grow on me. When you look at the Agera and the Regera and all the other Koenigsegg's so far, the front end has just been really aggressive, and it looks absolutely great. But this, for whatever reason, I think is a little bit softer, not as aggressive. I do like the headlights with the kind of slits that go from side to side, but kind of like the mouth on this thing is a little... I think it's going to have to grow on me a little bit, but I do like it. I just don't think it's nearly as aggressive as all the other Koenigsegg's that we have seen. Moving to the sides now, these doors are just absolutely nuts. The fact that you can have this much access to the front and the back seat with one door is... I think that's really cool. And look at this picture here. You got Christian von Koenigsegg standing right there, and look at how much taller the door is than him. I wonder how tall this door actually sticks up. I'd be willing to bet that this sticks up at least 7 feet into the air. Let's talk a little bit about the wheels. So you got 21-inch wheels in the front and 22s in the back. That's a lot of wheel. And not to mention, they're completely carbon fiber, so they're super lightweight. But if you look at the side profile of those wheels, there is very little rubber between that wheel and the ground. And not only is this thing a plug-in hybrid, but it has space in the trunk. It has trunk space. Looking here, it has space for 3 things of small luggage. Now, normally in a vehicle that can go this fast, with this much power, and the fact that it's a hybrid, trunk space isn't even a thought. But guess what? They did it. They put a trunk in a mega car. It is a mega car. I'm calling it that. It is a mega car. So, the fact that you were able to do 250 miles an hour, hit 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, have 4 passengers that are comfortable, and be able to carry luggage in the back, that's just absolutely insane. I don't think there is a single other car on the market or in the world that fits all and ticks all the boxes that this thing does. So that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to talk about, the new Koenigsegg Gemera, I would say the world's fastest 4-seater car. And I'll tell you what, if I could afford one of these, I would buy one in a heartbeat. But I think the going price is going to be starting at $1.7 million US. Now, I don't have $1.7 million, but if that is all I had, I would buy one of these. No questions asked, this is what I would have. So that is going to conclude our video for today. If you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe for plenty more automotive content coming your way. And I'll see you in the next one.